And grab your Bibles, if you would, and open to the book of Haggai. It's the third to the last book in the Old Testament. So if you get to Matthew, turn left. If you get to Isaiah, Ezekiel, any of those guys turn a hard right. And it's a little two-chapter book. So several times last night, I actually woke up thinking about this book, about the book of Haggai. And I love the book mainly because probably 40 years or so ago, the Lord really spoke to me out of the second chapter, verse 9, where it says, "The glory of this latter house will be greater than the former," which for me is a prophetic statement of God's intent, that if you think the book of Acts was exciting, wait till you see what he's about to do in the latter times. That there's bookends to this season called the church, and there's the outpouring in Acts, and then there's the glory of the latter house, what God intends to do. It was important for me to find food like that to feed my soul on, because I grew up around people that their whole delight was in things getting worse and worse until Jesus finally had to come and rescue us. And, my dad never bought into that, but there were people that we ran with that just seemed to have that way of thinking. And I just don't pay attention to anybody's theology on the last days if it doesn't take faith to obtain it. And a lot of that stuff actually almost requires fear to obtain it. You actually have to, in a sense, partner with the ineffectiveness of the gospel. Many believers have a greater faith in the return of Christ than they do the power of the gospel.
Come on.
And while the return of Christ is going to be glorious beyond imagination, the power of the gospel is what makes it so. It's what prepares things for that to happen. So anyway, I woke up a number of times last night just thinking, which is not normal for me. I don't usually wake up thinking about minor prophets, but as spiritual as you may think I am, that's not what happens at all when I wake up. I really don't want to tell you, but I don't think of that. But I woke up a number of times just thinking through this particular story. And so let me give you just kind of a background so that you have a little bit better appreciation for what we're about to read. Haggai was one of the prophets. In fact, it's stated in Zechariah chapter 6, I think verse 17, that when they rebuilt the temple, they succeeded through the prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah. In other words, the prophets actually enabled the people of God to succeed in their purpose, succeed in their assignment.